Hey, um, you already know what this review is gonna be, so I'll say it. Um, I just listened to this album today, and I really studied it for, a good part. It's not just I listened to it and then, reviewing it. Um, Wrote down some stuff too, took some notes, all that. So I guess to start, I'll kind of be going through song of kind of what I thought of, just some stuff. First song was Public Service Announcement. Weird name, right? Um, I honestly thought it wasn't that bad. It was kind of aggressive and, in metalcore terms, pretty aggressive and energetic and everything. It wasn't a bad song. I don't think it was great, but it wasn't bad. The lyrics were pretty cheesy because it was kind of one of those, I'm pretty sure at one point in the song he said "none of your business" or something like that, and I thought it was kind of cheesy or whatever. It was one of those, I don't know, "I'm living my life" kind of song, something like that. But yeah, it's a decent start to the album. It sounded like an Of Mice and Men song, but this new kind of thing they're doing, new sound-ish to it. But I still heard the Of Mice and Men, which I've listened to before. No cleans in that song, which was pretty cool, I thought, because I didn't want to hear cleans after I heard the song You're Not Alone, because I just don't like that chorus, or whatever it is. I didn't like it. Second song was different. First song, it was all aggressive metalcore. The second song, Feels Like Forever. It was a nice jam song. It reminded me right off the bat. I'm thinking, kind of sounds sort of radio rock-ish. I'm trying to think, what band does this remind me of? I feel like there's some type of influence in it. What I came up with, at least what I was listening to, I felt they had some type of a Tool or Incubus feeling to it. At least in the chorus and everything, the general feeling of the song, I kind of felt that. It was catchy, but kind of oddly placed to start out aggressive song first off, and then go into this jam song. But yeah, definitely an interesting start to the album. Third song was Bones Exposed. I already reviewed that one. I still think it sounds like Bring Me the Horizon. The chorus just in that song doesn't separate itself from the album. It's just kind of like, it feels like just another chorus. It doesn't, at least to me. I mean, for a big fan of this band, you could say, all right, yeah, this chorus is different than this one and that one. I listen to this band a lot, but for me, it's just, I don't, want to be that guy. But it just sounds like, just a chorus, just another metalcore chorus to me, like a lot of this album. I wrote here solo question mark question mark question mark. It's stupid. So I guess the solo that they have towards the end of this song is pretty stupid, I think. But I just can't get past the Bring Me the Horizon thing with this song. If I could, it would just be a decent song. I mean, song number 4, Would You Still Be There? Sounds like a radio rock song to me. Sounds like a kind of a song that would appeal to, the kids that listen to this, music, their mom or something like that would probably like this type of music. Like, oh yeah, radio music or whatever. That sounded pretty stupid, but it sounds like a rock and roll song more so than a metalcore song. Which you kind of see this pattern already. This aggressive song, sort of radio rock song, aggressive song, radio rock song. Next song, Glass Hearts. Along the same lines as Bones Exposed, kind of this aggressive, reminds me of Bring the Horizon in a way. I'll kind of get to that later, something I'm going to talk about at the end of the review, but you kind of see this whole thing here. They do this one transition that I've never liked that Of Mice and Men does into a breakdown where, if you listen to the song, I can't really describe it now. I mean, I'll write out sheet music for you, but there's this transition that they use pretty early into the song into like this first breakdown part that I just, I don't like very much. The 6th track, this slow rock-ish song, Track number 7, kind of a rock-ish song, at least that's what I have here. Track number 8, it has this like hard-ass skater intro riff that tries to be like this aggressive Bring Me the Horizon sempiternal type of music. But, you know, you see the pattern, you know, I don't have to go through the rest of them. It's either radio rock with these big catchy choruses, or this try-hard, aggressive, you know, hard-ass music. And, I mean, I just wasn't digging it. The album had an interesting start because I thought, you know, maybe, you know, this could be interesting. You know, it could be something that you know, this band progressed. I never liked Bring Me the Horizon very much at all. And then they put out Sempiternal, and I thought, like, yeah, it's a quality album. I thought this band may do that for me, but it just wasn't there for me, I guess. The thing about this album, you know, in retrospect, looking at it, the patterns killed it for me. There's too many songs that start off with these hard-ass riffs, like trying to be Antivist, Bring Me the Horizon, or House of Wolves, how they, you know, have these build-up riffs at the beginning of a song, or the transitions into these parts. Just I didn't care for the transitions, the structures of the songs. You know, like I said, beginning with these hard-ass riffs and the breakdowns and the choruses. And a lot of the choruses just seem to meld together. I can't tell you that I can pick, except You're Not Alone, because that song annoys the hell out of me. I can't pick out one chorus that's like, yeah, I remember this one. It's all kind of, that's just me, though. Honestly, that's just me. And that's another thing I kind of want to get into. There's this thing a lot of people will say, like, oh, this music sucks. It's kind of this whole talent versus good music kind of argument that I think you don't necessarily need to be the most talented guy out there to, you know, write good music, I think. And that's what kind of a lot of people forget. And that's not what I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying that these guys aren't talented. You know, like a fair amount of bands I listen to aren't, you know, sweeps and, you know, all kinds of weird stuff and playing like 8 necks and stuff and, you know, tuned to like F, double F, flat or whatever. And, you know, that's what I'm not trying to say that these guys aren't talented. They write the music that they write, and I accept that. It's just, I don't care for it very much, just because it's not as progressive as I would like it to be. I could take this album and I would say add a bit more variety to it. Because they're kind of onto something, writing some decent music that I think I've never cared about of Mice and Men too much before. Enough to, you know, say like, oh yeah, they're good. I knew of them and they're just another band to me. But I felt that they kind of almost had something with this album. At least with the first 2 tracks I enjoyed. And Bones Exposed, I could have liked that, but I just didn't like the chorus. And there were things that I could pick out and say, alright, this part was kind of neat, but that's not what I'm going. I'm not saying that they're not talented, and, well, they aren't as talented as some other bands, but you get what I'm saying, the whole talent versus good music thing. And I think they could have had good music. I'm not saying they suck because they aren't talented, but whatever. The sound of it all, just, I don't know, it sounded just not right to me. They could have been heavier at some parts, thicker, I mean. This band isn't, you know, a heavy band, but some parts could have been a lot thicker, and you know, it just produced a little better, in my opinion. I still think the singer sounds like crap. Just throwing that out there. And at least what it feels like to me, it feels a bit, why I'm saying that it sounds like Bring Me the Horizon in certain songs is because it feels more like of Mice and Men trying to sound like Bring Me the Horizon or Tool or something like that, more so than them being influenced by a band. If you kind of see what I'm saying, you can try to sound like a band, or you can be a band that's influenced by another band, and you make music, and it's not like you're trying to sound like a certain band, it's just you see that influence in the music. I don't entirely see that as much as just the similarities are there, and they bother me. But, I That's about all I have to say. I could take out, bits and pieces and say, all right, they may be onto something. I just wish there was more variety and there was a bit more progression in the songs. And I'm so sick of bands just clinging to these crappy metalcore breakdowns that are just, you know what I'm talking about, the most typical metalcore breakdowns. I'm sick of that. They put a variation on in the first song. They had some of these aggressive, cool-sounding, chord-driven breakdowns that were like, all right, yeah, we're onto something here. But just, all in all, I'm not a fan of this band still. I could take parts and be like, all right, yeah, I like this, I generally like that. But overall, I just didn't care for it too much. I feel like they're, from a music standpoint, looking at it, how do I say it? Just from my opinion, I just, it's not progressive enough for me. There's not enough variety. There's really 2 or 3 types of songs they use throughout an 11-track album, and that just doesn't, I'm not into that so much. Each song doesn't have its own identity for me, and you could say, well, if you listen to it more, you could memorize the songs, but that's the thing, it doesn't sell itself to me. I would have to buy into it, and I don't have the time, and I just don't feel like it. But I feel like they could have been onto something here. But that's my review. Could have been a lot better. Decent start. Overall, I'll give it like a, I don't know, 6.5 out of 10. Maybe 6.5 out of 10. Take your pick. That's basically it. Could have been a lot better.